Bright skies always green.
Oh, hey guys. Hey neighbors. I know it's been a while. Wow, I see there's a lot of new faces out there. How have you guys been? Well, first off, let me say Happy New Year because I haven't had the chance to say that yet. I know a lot of things have gone down since we last spoken, but we got so many new neighbors who are coming back into wrestling and they just don't know what's going on. So I thought, why not help them out? Because that's what a good neighbor does when it comes to our wrestling neighborhood. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm Stormy, and this is the neighborhood. Imagine it's something like Mr. Rogers with a little hint of Sesame Street, but for wrestling fans. And this is the perfect way to let new fans know what to expect in our wrestling neighborhood. Now, I know last week a lot of you tuned in to Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and you were thinking, wow, what's happening? What's a tribal combat? What is the Ula Fala? What's a tribal chief? Aren't they related? Why is The Rock hugging Cody Rhodes? So let me fill in the gap. So a few years ago, Roman Reigns came back to wrestling and he won the WWE Championship. And he became the head of the table for his family. He said that he was the reason of bringing relevancy back to the family name by him being the champion. And then he faced off against his cousin Jay Uso because at the time Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso's brother, was hurt. So Jay was like in those main moments. This was during COVID. So Jay Uso garnished the name Main Event Uso. So Jay Uso won a number one contenders match to face off against Roman. And Roman Reigns just emotionally and physically beat Jay Uso and became the new champ. And we saw his father Sika crown him with the Ula Fala. That's the red necklace that he wears. And by doing that, Roman Reigns became the tribal chief. Now, as tribal chief, he forced his cousins to get in line and follow him, and they became the bloodline. So whenever you see people put their ones up, they're acknowledging Roman Reigns. They're acknowledging the bloodline. That happened. There was a rivalry with he was just knocking on everybody with his cousins by his side. Anybody who stepped up, they just ran into the bloodline. It was just so tough. Now at this time, 3 straight times in a row, he beat down Kevin Owens. That entire family beat down Kevin Owens. Roman and the Usos just beat down Kevin Owens. Just beat him down. We're gonna pin that because it's gonna come into play later on. So fast forward again, they then get Sami Zayn, who just wanted to not be left out in the dust. He wanted to be remembered as well. So he kept telling them, like, hey, I acknowledge Roman. I acknowledge Roman. And Jimmy just wasn't going for it. He was just like, no, no, no. I'm sorry. Wrong name. Jay was not a fan of Sami Zayn trying to hang around the family and be there as an honorary member of the family. They just weren't going for it. But Roman had a soft spot, and he made Sami Zayn a honorary boost. There then was a fallout. Um, Before that, I'm so sorry. Before that, Solo Sokoa came into play. Solo Sokoa was in NXT, but he came up to help out the family. When Solo first came up, he said, I was brought in by the elders. We never found out who that elder was, but he was told that the elders told him to go and look after Roman and the Usos. Now, he is the brother of the Usos. He's the little brother. So it's Jimmy and Jay, then Solo. They're the brothers. Roman is their cousin, but they was raised like brothers. They've said it themselves, so it's like they're like those brother cousins. Everybody got those one cousins that they're like that with. Are you writing that down? Okay, stay with me. Fast forward, Jay falls out of line. He leaves. But before that, Sami Zayn also, he leaves too as well. There's a lot to the story, but there's more you can detail out. I'm not just gonna be one of those people go like, well, just go to YouTube. No, I'm gonna let you know like what you missed out on. It was truly cinematic. Then during this time, Cody Rhodes came back. Are you thinking Cody Rhodes came back? Yes, Cody left. You probably remember he was Stardust. He left, he went out, he started up a new company called AEW. In AEW, Cody Rhodes went on to do good things. He came back to WWE with one sole purpose, finishing his story. What's the story? Cody Rhodes' dad, who is Dusty Rhodes, won the World Heavyweight Championship, or so they thought. He really never won the title, but there was a picture in Cody Rhodes' home of his dad holding up that championship. He's like, man, my dad was a champ. It's like, no, technically your dad didn't win the belt that night, but they just kept the picture in the house so you can have something to look up to. So he was like, I'm going to win this belt at WrestleMania for my dad, for my father, for my family legacy. Because in wrestling, there's more than one royal family. Like he says in his song, he considers the Rhodes a royal family. But to a lot of fans, the real royal family is the Anoa'i Fatu family. You know, that's Roman, Yokozuna, The Rock, that family. They're split in halves. Half is Fatus, half is Anoa'i. Roman is an Anoa'i. You know, there's a Fatu that just showed up. That's Jacob. Remember that name. So Cody beats Roman. When he beats Roman, Roman takes a sabbatical. He takes a break. During his break, Solo Sikoa picks up the Ulafala and crowns himself as tribal chief. And his first act, he kicks out Jimmy Uso. So by kicking out Jimmy Uso, it's now just Solo. And Paul Heyman was like, what are you doing? But he calls up his cousins, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tongaloa. They're a part of that family as well. They're the other cousins. But to the other side, like, you know, they're the Rough Riders. Like, they're the ones who are not afraid of getting their hands dirty. So now we got the new bloodline of Solo, Tala, and Tonga, and Jacob. Roman comes back. All that happens, right? Now, when Roman comes back, also in play is The Rock. The Rock showed up too last year. The Rock showed up as the final boss. You remember him as the great one, the most electrifying, all that stuff. But this version of The Rock is called the final boss because he truly is the final boss. Because during the time away, Vince McMahon got into some trouble and had to sell his stakes in the company. The Rock has those stakes and he is on the board because WWE teamed up with TKO, who also own UFC, to create this big merger. And The Rock is on that board. So technically, by speaking, The Rock is the final boss. Right? Right? So sorry. So if you've seen Avengers Endgame, that's how WrestleMania was last year. WrestleMania 40 ended just like Avengers Endgame. Cody Rhodes is Captain America, and then you hear on your left, Seth Rollins came down in his shield gear. There was everybody came back. The Undertaker came back to make sure that Cody Rhodes won that belt. John Cena showed up. Jey Uso helped out, and Cody Rhodes became the new WWE Undisputed Champion. I didn't realize so much happened, but there's a lot. But we're going to get you caught up. So that's what was going on last Monday night. That's why they had the tribal combat to see who truly is the one true tribal chief. Now, I know this video was a bit long, but if you have any more questions about what's going on, leave a comment down below. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Thanks you guys for tuning into the neighborhood. Share this video, and until next time, bye friends.
Stormy neighborhood where the fun never ends.